Hi, my name is Linnea Howard, and I'm working on my Girl Scout Gold Award focused on sustainability in the fashion industry and educating people about fast fashion. So my goal with this presentation is to educate you about fast fashion and hopefully inspire you to just reflect a little bit on your own shopping habits. So today, what I'm going to be talking about mainly is exactly what fast fashion is and what the fast fashion industry is, and then the effects of fast fashion, including ethical and environmental concerns related to fast fashion itself. And finally, what I really want to stress today is the many alternatives to fast fashion and how you can actively go against fast fashion and just shop a little bit more sustainably. Fast fashion means inexpensive clothing produced rapidly by mass market retailers in response to the latest trends. So, to give you a little bit better idea of what this is, these are some brands that you may be familiar with that fall under the term fast fashion. So, a point I really want to stress here is that I'm not telling you that you should never shop at these stores again. And personally, I do still shop and I have shopped at all of these stores. The biggest thing is just being a conscious consumer and knowing what you're buying and where that is coming from. And that's what I'm going to get into a little bit more today. So how did fast fashion start? Way back during the Industrial Revolution, assembly lines using machines in factories were popularized, beginning the trend of fast fashion. And over time, trends were created and clothing manufacturers responded by quickly responding and producing clothing following these trends. And then when online shopping became a widespread phenomenon, as well as with the growth of social media, fast fashion truly took off at that point. So one of the biggest reasons that fast fashion is so popular is it really uses the internet to its advantage. Trends come and go faster than ever with the internet and social media, and companies rely on that to follow these trends. They hire celebrities and social media influencers in order to promote their clothing and target younger audiences into following these trends and buying the fast fashion clothing. And additionally, a lot of the time, fast fashion will sell their clothing for very low prices, which causes a lot more people to go for it, even though it can often be low quality. So what? Why is fast fashion so bad? Well, most fast fashion is created in sweatshops. Sweatshops are workplaces that commonly employ women and children as workers. These workers suffer very horrible conditions. The conditions that the people who make this clothing are put under on a daily basis is truly horrible, and avoiding fast fashion will help show brands that this treatment will not be tolerated by consumers. And put simply, fast fashion is unethical, which is one of the biggest issues with it. Now, sweatshops, when you think of it, you may think of more underdeveloped countries, which, yes, that is where a lot of sweatshops are located, but they're also located here in the United States, with LA actually being the hub of that. So still, there are sweatshops right here in the United States, and some brands actually use this to their advantage, and many people will see made in the USA on a label and assume that the clothing is ethically made because it is made in the USA. So this is something that you should definitely be aware of when attempting to shop ethically, just knowing where that clothing is coming from. If it says made in the USA, that doesn't necessarily mean it was ethically made. Now for fast fashion and the environment, here are some startling facts about the impacts of fast fashion on the earth, including its massive contributions to global warming and pollution. And I also want to address some common rumors and misconceptions about thrifting, which is what I'm going to talk a little bit more about shortly, which is one of the alternatives to fast fashion. But many uneducated people about the subject argue that when you choose to thrift shop, you're stealing clothing from lower income people who have no choice but to shop at thrift stores. But this is simply not true, as thrift stores often have to send clothing to the landfill if it doesn't sell. And as you can see, an insane amount of clothing ends up in the landfill each year. About 1 billion pounds of unwanted clothes go there. 10% of all of humanity's carbon emissions do come from the fashion industry. And it is a huge waste of water as well, as it takes approximately 2,000 gallons to grow the cotton that it takes to make just one single pair of jeans. So here are some of the key points on how fast fashion is harmful to the environment and workers as well. Here are a couple of resources for finding and even tracking your own fast fashion footprint, as well as my own results from each. The ThreadUp calculator asks you questions about your clothing habits and rates how conscious of a consumer you are, as well as about how much of your habits contribute to carbon emissions. And the Farfetch tool allows you to enter the pre-owned pieces you have bought and tells you how much carbon, water, and waste you have saved. So these websites also include further resources to help you improve your shopping habits, and you can find the links to these in the description of the video and give them a try yourself, and you can see if you can improve your shopping habits over time. I think this is a really great way to motivate yourself and see that you are truly making a difference by shopping sustainably. But how can you shop sustainably, and how can you fight against fast fashion? As we've seen, it does have many negative impacts. So first, I would recommend, you can literally do this right now. Just hop on your phone, cleanse your social media, and then follow any fast fashion brands that you might follow and show them that you will refuse to support their unethical production by giving into that and just seeing that in your feed every day. Next, work on educating yourself and others, whether that be through visiting some of the resources I mentioned in this slideshow, or following some social media accounts that inspire ethical shopping, or even sharing this presentation with your friends and family. And of course, try to change your own habits. That's really the biggest thing you can do. It's probably the most difficult, but I'm going to show you it's really not as difficult as you may think. So just think about where you're shopping from when you buy clothes and give thrifting a try this week. Yeah, so thrifting, going off of that, here's some alternatives that you can do to make a difference in your own shopping habits. So you can buy and support from ethical, sustainable, and inclusive brands. You can purchase clothing from resale apps or websites. You can thrift, which is one of my personal favorite ways to shop. And also just wear your clothes until either they're worn out or donate them. Don't just throw them out. Either sell them, give them to a friend if you're outgrown them, but don't just throw them out unless they're completely worn out. Here are some of my personal favorite ways to shop more sustainably or act more sustainably. So Depop and other clothing reselling websites and apps can be really helpful if you don't necessarily want to go take the time to dig through a thrift store finding clothes. You can find some really great specific pieces that are really unique and cool on Depop, Poshmark, and everything like that. And then Goodwill, as well as the Goodwill bins, which you can see in the picture below. Great way to find really awesome, unique pieces and for cheap prices as well. And then finally, Rent the Runway and other clothing rental businesses. For example, if you were going to a school dance or some sort of fancy event, instead of just buying a dress that you're only going to wear once, you can rent a dress for that time and then send it back. And that's a really great way to be more sustainable with those habits and not wasting clothing or wasting your own money on something you're just going to wear once. There are also brands that you can support that are definitely going in a more sustainable or ethical direction. You can see some here: Reformation, Levi's, and Patagonia. And also Levi's and Patagonia even will do free or very small cost repairs or replacements if your jeans or jackets or whatever you're buying gets worn down, because they do want to make it last as long as possible so you get the most use out of what you are buying. Here is some examples of my own thrifted outfits, and you can actually see more on the YouTube channel, which the video I will link below, which is my 100% thrifted fashion show video for my Gold Award project. But here are just a few examples. You can see I have stuff for every occasion. In fact, my friend and I both thrifted our winter formal dance dresses for school, and everything from everyday outfits to beachwear. You can find so many amazing pieces at thrift stores and by shopping sustainably. Here are a few more examples. These are some more thrifted pieces courtesy of the resale brand The Vault 1969, which you can find on Instagram and Etsy. And I do want to also take a moment here to address some false claims about reselling thrifted clothing, something that a lot of people are actually against. which I do not agree with at all. And reselling really is a great thing because it takes a lot of work, time, and effort to find amazing pieces like the ones you see here. And some people simply don't have the time or the patience to go and do that themselves. So resellers are charging you for their time when they mark up the prices from what they buy it for, as they should. And as long as they're not outrageously marking up their fines, then they're really helping people shop sustainably without doing all of the work, which some people just aren't able to do. Here are some Instagram accounts that you can follow just to remind yourself and inspire you to shop sustainably more often. And they can help keep you updated about the alternatives and different advice more than just what I was able to provide in this short presentation. Thank you guys so much for watching and helping to support me on my Girl Scout Gold Award journey. I really hope that you were able to take away something from this presentation today, whether that be educating yourself about where your clothing is coming from or learning some new alternatives that hopefully you'll give a try. So thanks again for watching, and be sure to check out my other video on the YouTube channel, which can hopefully really inspire you to shop more sustainably and show you the real possibilities of things you can find while thrifting. Thanks so much. Have a great day.